Well, hello again for part 2 of this little 29th of May 23 dander around the vicinity of River Erne, the top bank and the north side. Look at these lovely oak trees that are, I mean, everything's self-seeded here. It's quite amazing actually. And even the young horse chestnuts and stuff are all there as well. So it's good to know that. And the hawthorn with its white blossom. Incidentally, this is absolutely delicious. If you are going to try it, make sure you get the right blossom. Some blossoms are actually poisonous, so be very careful, please. But the river extends that way to the south. And it must have been great just, what, 60 years ago, just sitting here. Perhaps not the same bench, but the steam trains running behind us, just over the other side of the hedge, heading west for Comrie. My father was on that train just about every morning of his life as a young man, really having to go to St Fillan's and to collect the mail coming in from the west. He only had a bicycle at that time, and he'd board the train at Crieff station, head west, wait for the other connected train, and come back with that with the kick in from Loughlin Head, of course. I was talking about last week in the evening. I mentioned it very briefly earlier on. Sorry to hark on about my running days, but it's a big part of my life. Well, I was thinking back, I found, I've still got this thing about the trophies. I don't know where the heck they are, but I found a little segment of the trophy. I've definitely lost them. I've definitely put them somewhere in a different house and not picked them up. I know this. I'm almost sure, at least. I'll have to contact them and ask them, please, tell me. But a lot of the other trophies which are... I've only got there's only... Well, this one I was talking about was, I saw it as a little, what do you call it? What's the name for it? Engraved piece of brass, which has obviously fallen off the trophy. And I remember it's a statue of an athlete. And I got it for winning the 800 metres, which a race I forgot that I actually won until I saw this thing. I said, oh yes, I did. 1982. I won the 800 metres in Oban. And second in the mile was beaten by a chap called Clive Bell, just beat me on the tape. It's happened quite a lot. All's right on the tape, but that's what it is. That's what the tape's there for. Got to get your chest into it first. Difficult in a mile race, you can't hear them coming up. You don't know the difference between the crowd shouting for you or someone coming from behind. All down to experience, of course. But anyway, so I remembered about this 1982 thing. And of course my coach was still competing. He used to run in veterans races. And I won the mile at Cope Bridge. In fact, I'll try to get a picture up of Cope Bridge. And I won the mile. My running buddy went to take photographs, and he actually ran backwards, and he ran through the tape for me. And he got a row for it. So I never got a chance to break that tape with my chest, but I won it by a street length. But it was a really good race. Yeah, it was in August. It was on my birthday in August 1982. And my coach was running that day. But anyway, back to the story in Oban. I don't know if anyone remembers Russell Harty. We used to have a chat show on BBC television. Anyway, the BBC cameras had all turned up at Oban. and they'd done an interview from some chap who'd rolled down Niagara Falls in Canada, near Toronto, I think it is. It's on the US-Canadian border at least, and he'd gone over the Niagara Falls in a enclosed barrel. Don't ask me why, but anyway, so he was getting interviewed, and then they wanted to interview my coach, who was obviously 80, and he was still running, sprinting, 100 metres and 200 metres. I mean, absolutely amazing. And of course, they filmed me because I was with my coach Perthshire at the time, and so they said, "And what do you do yourself?" I said, "Well, I'm just way to compete in this race." Okay, so what race is it? This is 800 metres. So they filmed me running and winning it. And I remember phoning Manchester about 6 years later and saying, "Do you have any footage of me winning this race at Oban?" Well, remember the whole thing, but unfortunately we don't. We discard any footage that we don't use in the actual, for the final edit. I said, "Well, that's a pity, isn't it?" And well, we just can't keep everything. So they didn't use that on the television programme, but they did use the chap going down Niagara Falls, and obviously that might have been in the background. I can't remember, my head was a bit sketchy, and I was even my late teens, and I was never really into television at all. But yeah, it was good. 82 was a really good year. I didn't drink at all. I was superbly fit. Had to be. Look right here. Hello. Is this your new house? Yes, the wee Robin came down to see me after all. That's the first Robin I've seen since that incident. He's telling me it's alright now. She is saying it's alright. It says it's got a new partner, and it's found a new nest site, and yes, and it understands that there was no intent. Oh, well, that's good you came to see me, Mr. Robin, or Mrs. Robin I should say. Thanks for popping by, makes all the difference to me. Well, you can come along in August. Let me see your bairns. If you want. Yes, you'll be very welcome. The garden will be there for you. And I'll get you oatmeal, water, and a special treat. I'll get you some waxed cheddar from Fortnum and Mason. Waxed cheddar truffle. Truckle, sorry. Waxed cheddar truckle. Would you like that? I'll take the wax jacket off the cheddar truckle for you. Okay. Well, thank you for popping by. You too. Cheerio. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. I'm very pleased that the Robin popped by, because I was getting concerned that, well, I've never seen one Robin since. It's delightful, isn't it? It really is. Sorry if I make my vlogs very long. Hopefully they retain their interest. Here's some wood avens here. They've sprouted up quite a bit. This is them, they'll come into flower quite soon. And then these are the little flowers which eventually go to seed. And then that's the seeds that attach to your clothing as you're passing by and they come to your garden. It's a favourite trick with the wood avens. But I think I need to go and get some lunch. It's almost 3 o'clock. I haven't eaten since it's 9 o'clock, isn't it? Yeah, so I think I will, Andy. Say goodbye to this neck of the wood. I came down especially for that little storyline. So we'll head back up over the bridge and make our way. I'm delighted the robin came down. I really am. See, what happens as well is when all the garden birds leave the address around June time for about 6 or 7 weeks, this is my opinion, of course, but I'm almost sure they all congregate in some special place on the other side, and they all have debates and conversations with each other about who's a good garden to visit and who will look after them during the winter months and all that sort of chatter. And I think my name comes up quite high on the list, but obviously the robin will probably make it known that I created a bit of a nuisance and caused problems, and so they'll say, well, you know, perhaps the sparrows or the blackbird might say, well, look, why on earth did you put your nest in there? Goodness sake, you couldn't expect the chap to, you know, to see that. And the robin will nod its head and say, well, I suppose that's true, but, you know, I had to leave my babies away in the nest. And it was very distressing and upsetting for me. And the jackdaw will probably say, well, of course it would be, but listen, we know Andrew and he would not hurt a fly, and I think it's safe to say that it's just one of these things. Go back and see him in August, will you? And the robin will shrug its shoulders and say, I suppose. He's been a good friend over the winter, I'm sure. Okay, yeah, all right, I'll forgive him. Yes. So goodbye for the New Forest today. Bye-bye.